Then if the kettle is ready, we may as well have tea first. And then we would look through his bits and make a list of them. There's quite a lot furniture in his room.
There's no jewelry or valuables of that sort.
Oh, except his gold watch, which he promised to our Jimmy.
Promise to your Jimmy? I never heard of that.
Oh, but he did, Amelia, when he was living with us. You see, he was very fond of our Jimmy.
Well, I don't know.
Anyhow, there is his insurance money. Have you got the receipt for the premium he paid this morning?
I have not seen it.
Mother, I don't think Grandpa went to pay his insurance this morning.
He went out.
Yes, but he didn't go into the town. He met old Mr. Thompson down the street and then they went across to St. Philip's Church.
To the Ringo Bells, I am sure.
The Ringo Bells?
That pub that John Shorrock's widow keeps. He's always hanging about there. Oh, if he hasn't paid the insurance?
Do you think he hasn't paid it? Was it overdue?
I think it was overdue.
Something tells me he has not paid it. I have a warning. I know that he hasn't paid it.
The drunken old beggar.
He's done it on a purpose, just to annoy us.
After all I have done for him, having to put up with him in this house these 3 years. It's nothing short of getting cheated.
Amelia, I had to put up with him for 5 years.
And you were trying to turn him over to us all the time?
But we don't know for certain that he has not paid the premium.
I do. It's come over me all at once that he hasn't.
Victoria, run and fetch that bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table.
In Grandpa's room?
Yes.
I don't like to.
Don't talk so silly. There's no one can hurt you. We'll see if he's locked the receipt up in the bureau.
In where? In this thing?
Where did you pick that up, Amelia? It's new since I was last here.
Oh, Henry picked it up one day.
I like it. It's artistic. Did you buy it in an auction?
Hey, where did I buy it, Amelia?
Yes, at an auction.
Oh, second hand.
Come on, Ben. Don't show your ignorance. All artistic things are second hand. Look at all these old masterpieces.
Mother,
What is it, child?
Grandpa's getting up.
What?
What do you say?
Grandpa's getting up.
This child is crazy.
Don't talk so silly. Don't you know your grandpa's dead?
No, he's getting up. I saw him.
You would better go there and see for yourself, Amelia.
Here, come with me, Henry.
Listen.
What's the matter with little Vicky? Hello, what brings you here? How are you, Ben?
Grandfather, is that you?
Of course, it's me, Melia. What the devil did you mean by this foolishness?
He's not dead.
Doesn't seem like that.
You have kept away long enough, Lizzie. And now you have come. You don't seem to be happy to see me.
You took us by surprise, grandfather. Are you keeping quite well?
What?
Are you keeping quite well?
I'm alright, except a bit of a headache. I won't mind betting that I'm not the first one in this house to be carried to the graveyard. There, Henry looks none too healthy.
Well, I never.
Melia, what the dickens did you do with my new slippers?
Aren't they by Hearth, grandfather?
I don't see them. Why? You got them on, Henry?
I told him to put them on to stretch them. They were that hard and new. Now, Henry?
Well, I don't call that delicate. Stepping into a dead man's shoes. in such a haste?
Oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you are not dead.
Hold your tongue, Victoria.
What's that? Who's gone dead?
Victoria says she's sorry about your head.
Thank you, Vicky, but I am feeling better.
He's so fond of Victoria.
Yes, he's fond of our Jimmy too.
You would better ask him if he promised your Jimmy his gold watch.
I couldn't just now. I don't feel equal to it.
Why, Ben, you in mourning? And Lizzie too? And Melia? And Henry? And little Vicky? Who's gone dead? It's someone in family?
No one you know, Father. A relation of Ben's.
And what relation of Ben's?
His brother.
Wait, Amelia. I don't have any brother.
Dear. Are you going to the funeral?
Oh, yes.
No.
No, of course not.
Well, I suppose you're only waiting for me to begin tea. I am feeling hungry.
I'll make tea.
Come along now. Sit down and let's be jolly.
Henry, give Grandpa some pie.
Thank you. I'll make a start.
Glad to see you, Mr. Merriweather. You've got an appetite, although you were not well.
Nothing serious. I've been lying down for a bit.
Been to sleep, Grandfather?
No, I haven't been to sleep.
Ooh.
I can't exactly call everything to mind, but I remember I was a bit dazed, like I couldn't move an inch, hand or foot.
And could you see and hear, Mr. Merriweather?
Yes, but I don't remember seeing anything particular.
Of course not, Grandfather. It was all your fancy. You must have been asleep.
I'll tell you, I wasn't asleep, Melia. Damn it, I ought to know.
Didn't you see Henry or Amelia come into your room?
Now, let me think.
I wouldn't press him. Elizabeth, don't press him.
I wouldn't worry him.
Begad, Melia and Henry, what the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau out of my bedroom? Melia, Henry, do you hear?
What bureau was that, Father?
Why, my bureau, the one I bought?
Was it that one, Father?
That's it. What is it doing here? Trot me. If that isn't my clock too, what's the devil been going on in this house?
Well, I'll be hanged.
I'll tell you what's been going on in this house, Father. Nothing short of a robbery.
Be quiet, Elizabeth.
I'll not be quiet. Oh, I call it double-faced.
Now, Elizabeth.
And you too. Are you such a poor creature that you must do every dirty thing she tells you to do?
Remember where you are, Elizabeth.
Come. No quarreling.
My wife has every right to speak her own mind.
Then she can speak it outside, not here.
Damn it all! Will someone tell me what's been going on?
Yes, I will. I'll not see you get robbed, Father.
Who's been robbing me?
It's Amelia and Henry. They have stolen your clock and bureau. They sneaked into your room like thieves at night and have stolen it after you were dead.
Hush! Quiet, Elizabeth.
I'll not be stopped. After you were dead, I say.
After was dead?
You!
But I am not dead.
But they thought you were.
Oh, that's why you're all in black today. You thought I was dead? That was a big mistake.
Grandfather?
It didn't take you too long to start dividing my things between you.
You mustn't think that way, Grandfather. Amelia was simply getting hold of them on her account.
You always were a keen one, Amelia. I suppose you thought the will wasn't fair?
Did you make a will?
Yes, it was locked up in the bureau.
And what was in it, Father?
That doesn't matter now. I'm thinking of destroying it and making another.
Grandfather, you'll not be hard on me.
I'll trouble you for another cup of tea, 2 lumps, and plenty of milk.
With pleasure, Grandfather.
I don't want to be hard on anyone. I will tell you what I'm going to do. Since your mother died, I have lived part of my life with you, Melia, and another with you, Lizzie. Well, I shall make a new will, leaving my all bits of things to whomever I'm living with when I die.
It's a bit of a lottery like.
And who do you intend to live with from now?
I am just coming to that.
You know, Father, it's quite a time you came to live with us again. We would rather make you very comfortable.
No, he's not been with us as long as he was with you.
I may be wrong, but I don't think that Father might fancy living with you after whatever has happened today.
So, you would like to have me again, Lizzie?
You know, Father, we are ready to make your home with us for as long as you please.
What do you say to that, Melia?
All I can say is that Elizabeth has changed her mind in the last 2 years. Grandfather, do you know what the quarrel between us was about?
Amelia, don't be a fool. Sit down.
No, if I am not to have him, you shan't either. We quarreled because Elizabeth said she wouldn't take you off our hands at any price. She said she had enough of you to last a lifetime, and we had got to keep you.
It seems to me that neither of you has any cause to feel proud about the way you have treated me.
If I have done anything wrong, I am sure I'm sorry for it.
And I can't say more than that too.
It's a bit late to say it now. Neither of you cared to put up with me.
No, Grandfather.
You both say that because of what I have told you about leaving my money. Well, since you don't want me, I'll go to someone that does.
Come, Mr. Merriweather, you've got to live with one of your daughters.
I'll tell you what I've got to do. On Monday next, I've got to do 3 things. I've got to go to the lawyers and alter my will. I've got to go to the insurance office and pay my premium. And I've got to go to the St. Philip's Church and get married.
What?
Get married?
He's out of his senses.
I say I'm going to get married
Who do?
to Miss John Shorrocks, who keeps the Ringo bells. We have had it fixed up a good while now, but I was keeping it for a pleasant surprise. I felt I was a bit of a burden to you, so I found someone who would think it a pleasure to look after me. We shall be glad to see you at the ceremony. Till Monday then, 12 o'clock at St. Philip's Church. It's a good thing you brought that bureau out of my bedroom, Melia. It will be easier to carry across to the Ringo bells on Monday.
Oh no!
Grandpa's wedding? What fun!